Hey guys, what's up? It's Heather Grant, and today I'm going to be talking about muscle testing, or sometimes called energy testing, right? What is muscle testing? How can you use it? Can you do it? Can anyone do it? What is it? So basically all muscle testing or energy testing is it's basically just finding out what your body needs. It's asking your body what your body needs. And the idea or the theory behind it is that our bodies always know what's good for them, right? Our bodies know what's best. And one of the first times I was exposed to energy testing or muscle testing was through a chiropractor. So I took my son, Grandin, to a chiropractor for allergies. He had really severe allergies. And one of the things that the doctor had him do was he had him hold a vial, so just a little glass vial in his hand that had different things in it. So one had grass, one had cat hair, and as he would hold it, he would stick out his arms, and the chiropractor would push on his arm. And if his arm stayed strong, then the chiropractor told me that this meant that he wasn't allergic to something. And if his arm kind of went weak when it was pushed on, then the chiropractor let me know, like, hey, he's allergic to this and this is what we need to work on. And I thought that was a little kind of trippy at first. It was almost like a little voodoo or like evil. I was like, what is he doing? And this is really, really weird. But I've been exposed to it a lot since then, and it's something that I've learned and I actually utilize with myself and with my family. And so I wanted to teach you a little bit about it. So if you would like to experience muscle testing or energy testing, the only thing that you personally need to do is you can actually, you can do this yourself. So what you want to do is you want to stand up and kind of balance your feet, right? You want to plant your feet and be grounded into the earth. And then just tell your body, I want you to move forward for truth and backwards if something isn't truth, okay? So you can actually pause the video and do this if you want. But you're gonna start out with something really simple, like your name. So for me, if I was doing it, I would say, my name is Heather. And then as I say that, I pay attention to which way my body sways. And because my name is Heather and that's truth, my body will actually naturally sway forward. Now, if I were to stand and say, my name is Bob, my body actually physically will push backwards, right? It recognizes that that's false, that that's not correct. And so this is something that you can do. You can practice if you want to try it out. You can pause the video and do it, but you can also do it with food. So you could hold something that's not healthy for you. For example, you could hold a candy bar or a bag of chips, and your body will actually naturally sway backwards away from that food. If it's something that's good for you, say an apple or spinach or water, your body will actually move forward towards things that are actually good for it. And so we call this the sway test. It's the very, very basic form of energy or muscle testing. But what and how I utilize this is I actually use it for essential oils. I use it to help people as I'm working with people to know what oil their body needs and what's going to benefit them. It's becoming more and more commonplace. So a lot of times you'll see people using energy or muscle testing with foot zoners, right? Foot zoners use it. If you are familiar with Dr. Bradley Nilsson, the emotions code, right? Helping release trapped emotions in our bodies. You'll see nutritionalists do this, right? As they're trying to figure out what nutrition or vitamin deficiency you have. A lot of times you'll see them do muscle testing. But more and more and more, especially in the alternative medicine world, you're seeing this become very, very commonplace. And it's a very great tool for being able to help people very quickly. So one of the things that I have wanted to do was to learn how to utilize this with nutritional supplements and then also with essential oils, knowing what to help people with. For those of you who are familiar with the Zyto scan or the Itovi scan, this is a scan that you actually place your hand on or hold in your hand, and it actually scans your body or scans your muscle or your energy to know what supplements you need. And so if you're someone who you've done the Zyto scan before or you've done an Itovi scan before, muscle testing works similar, right? It works the exact same way. You're just not using electronic. You're using your own self to be able to test. So it's not weird. It's not, at first I thought it was a little trippy or almost like, is this weird? Like this seems really, really weird, or this seems outlandish. But once you learn it, it really is just like learning a second language or being able to speak a second language. You're just being able to learn and practice tapping into what your body needs and what someone else might need. You can do it different ways. So a lot of people use their fingers, right? So they'll make like a circle and use a finger. If it stays strong, that means it's a yes answer. Or if it goes weak, that means it's a no answer. For me personally, I actually just make a ring with my fingers and I'll just muscle test like this. And the reason that I do it with my fingers versus a sway test is because when I was new to essential oils and muscle testing for essential oils, I would do the sway test. And so I would literally pick up an essential oil to see if my body needed it and pay attention to which way I swayed, right? If I was moving forward towards it or back away from it. But what I found is that takes a really, really long time, especially when I'm trying to help children or I'm trying to help a lot of other people. I don't have all day to stand and muscle test and sway with, 100 different oils and supplements and things like that. And so for me, it's just really, really quick to be able to use my fingers. If I get a strong answer, I know that's yes, that's something that my body needs. If I get if my fingers slide through very, very easily, I know that that's a fault. And it's something where I can muscle test for myself or my kids or someone who's given me permission to test for them very, very quickly and easily to know what supplements are going to benefit them. So that's a little bit about muscle or energy testing. That's what it is. That's how it works. And it's something that I really believe that everyone can learn. You can Google it. There's lots of different ways you can do it. Sway is one of the very, very basic, easy ways that you can do it. This is something even my children have done and had fun with. I have encouraged my children to sway test for essential oils to see what their body needs, just so that they can learn the very basics of it. So it's something that even my very little kids have had a lot of fun doing and learning. Once again, an arm thing, right? Holding your arm out is a really easy way for someone that's new. But the idea is that you figure out a way that works for you, right? For me, it's my fingers. For other people, it might just be easier for you to sway, but figure out what works for you and practice. The thing that I can say that works the best with energy and muscle testing is just to practice it. The more you practice it, the better you get, the more confident you get at your answers. One other little tip or trick that I wanted to teach you with muscle testing is you cannot be attached to the answers. The way to be a really good muscle tester is to make sure that you're asking really good, clarifying questions. The clearer that your questions are, the more clear and precise the questions, the easier it is to get a very clear and concise answer as you're muscle testing and reading that energy and that body and what it needs. If your answers are a little skewed, or if there could be more than one right answer, it's going to be really hard to get a clear answer. So make sure that your questions are really good questions as you're muscle testing. That's a really great tip for being able to have really great answers and being able to do it very, very easily. The other tip that I would give for you is to make sure that you're really hydrated as you're doing it. It's a lot easier to muscle test on yourself if you're super hydrated and in a good place energetically. And then last but not least, just do it. Just practice and not be worried about the outcome. When I get into trouble is when I'm worried about what I think my body needs, or if I think my body needs a certain oil, that messes up my answers. I have to not be attached to the outcome. For me, I actually number my oils. So I actually will just have a list that has 1 through whatever it is for blends and 1 through whatever it is for singles, and I'll actually just go through and ask number wise which number it is. I found that works really good for me, so that way I'm not attached to the oil. I'm not even paying attention to the answer. I'm just totally energetically muscle testing for what I need, and I'm not attached to the outcome, and I found that works really, really well. So if you guys have any tips or tricks for how to muscle test, or if you have any questions about it, go ahead and post them in the comments below. I'd love to know what your experience is. If you haven't done the sway test yet, I would encourage you to stand up, plant your feet firmly on the floor, and play around with the truth and which way your body sways depending on what question you're asking it. Everyone, have an awesome day. See you guys.